With that, I'd like to introduce Charles Eide. Charles is founder of IDECOM Media. They are a connect-to-buy vendor. As a motivated entrepreneur and active member of the Twin Cities business community, Charles had founded IDECOM Media back in 2003. His extensive knowledge of media and marketing has been a driving force behind the success of his business. In late 2010, he co-founded Forever TV, which is an online resource for brides. In just 15 short months, his brand Forever TV has skyrocketed to be one of the hottest ways for wedding businesses to market their products to brides. This video-based platform has become one of the largest bridal media groups in the Twin Cities. Today, Charles will walk you through the step-by-step process of using the power of internet video to take your business to new heights. Please welcome Charles Eide.
Thanks, Paul. Take the clicker there. First of all, a big thanks for having us here, Paul and Roxanne. They are dear friends. They are incredible entrepreneurs and visionaries, and I'm very happy to call them good friends as well. Who came here because you had nothing else to do and you want to waste a bunch of time today? Everybody's laughing. Okay, who came here by show of hands to learn something that might better your business, maybe increase your revenue, gain you more clients, and be a serious, good use of your time today? Okay, and how many of you won't raise your hand no matter what? Okay, well, first of all, I want to share with you a little bit about myself so you know where I'm coming from. I'm here today to really make this worth your time. I want to share with you some nuts and bolts, some information, whether you are extremely savvy in the social media and tech or you don't do any of it. I'm here to really help you understand some things that might bring you to a new place in the way you look at marketing your business, okay? By no means am I here to spend your time selling my business or services to you, okay? I want to make that clear today. This is about giving you nuts and bolts, and we'll have questions that you guys can answer at the end of my presentation. Something that I live by every day is that passion is priceless. Skills are cheap. Think about that. How many of you guys feel really passionate about what you do? Yeah? How many of you would agree that it wouldn't really take much for you to switch careers if you wanted? We all know the path, right? Go get an education in that thing and then open up your business in that, right? The education, the skills, they're the cheap part, right? It's the passion and excitement for what you do that makes the difference between major success and mediocrity or even failure, right? So I just want to say that today, what I'm going to tell you comes from my burning passion for people who are in business to maximize to the best that they can be, okay? I also want to say this. Most obstacles in our lives are man-made. And most often, you're the man who made them. Think about that. Most of the time, we're the ones that get in the way of our own, in our own success. Does that make sense? So I want to tell you that today, if I mention some things and you go, oh, yeah, that's beyond me, I don't want to do that, or that's not for me, I'm not into the tech or internet thing, I want to tell you that you're getting in your own way. So don't get in your own way today. Let's have a lot of fun. Let's learn some really good things. I'll share with you a couple of things about me. I'm married. I'm going to be celebrating my 3-year wedding anniversary, which is very exciting for me. And I have a beautiful daughter who is almost 2. She is the love of our lives. We absolutely couldn't imagine the world without our daughter. So I'm a dad, and I love that. That's why I go to work every day and do what I do. To give you a background real quick about us, IDECOM Media started in 2003. Believe it or not, I was attending the University of St. Thomas, and I thought I was going to class, and I was hanging out at the dorms, and I was like, man, don't you guys, what are you going to do when you're done here? What are you guys going to do? And everybody's like, I don't know, man, pay off my bills, pay off my loans, I don't know. And I was like, let's do something. And so back in 2003, I started IDECOM Media. And I did that with my best friend and longtime business partner, Mike Danielson. This guy is a genius. And I'll tell you what, nothing is more fun than working with the people you really love, right? No? Yeah. This is yes, and this is no. You don't have to talk. Okay, Mike Danielson, he's my best friend. We actually grew up literally next door to each other. His parents' house was next to my parents' house. We grew up next door to each other. We've been making trouble ever since. So just a little bit about me. Also, I will tell you that I never wear a suit, so if it looks terrible on me, it's because I never ever dress up like this. I'm not sure which button I should button. I think it's the top one, but I button the middle one. And usually I'm out on set shooting and looking really ugly. So as you can understand, I'm a little bit nervous up here in front of you guys, and so just forgive me if I make any mistakes. So today, what are we going to cover? We're going to cover Video 101 and the do's and don'ts of video. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of you in the last month have watched at least one video on the internet? How many of you did it because it was for your business or educational? Okay, and how many, it was entertaining? It was something you were watching for fun, entertainment. Yeah, I mean, it's almost a 50-50 split, right? Now, if I said go back 2 months, we probably have all watched video for entertainment. We've all watched some YouTube videos to learn something, right? How to. Anybody ever looked up like a how to do something on YouTube? Isn't that the best? Sometimes the people are just stupid and you're like, oh my goodness. But then you find one that's really good, right? And you're like, bookmark that. I guess what I want to convey to you is that we live in a new world. This, today, ladies and gentlemen, what never used to be is now the number 2 search engine in the world. Videos. Used to be you'd want to find out about something, you'd look up for an image of it, right? What does it look like? What is the picture of it? Now we look for a video of it, right? And chances are, whatever you want to look up, it's there. How to train your dog to sit. There it is. How to change the oil on your 2007 Chevy pickup. It's there. So the beauty behind web video is that it works. Right now, let's talk about this for a second. Who in this room thinks that web video, and I want you to, seriously, you're not going to look stupid if you raise your hand, because I know a lot of people in this camp. Who thinks web video is kind of a fad? It's okay, nobody. So we have some progressive people in this room. Progressive. I will tell you that there are plenty of people out there that still think that web video, Facebook, and all that is a fad. Let's be honest, it's here to stay. In fact, I consume more video content and entertainment now through my $8 a month Netflix subscription that streams than I do through my $54 a month DirecTV subscription. It's all coming through the internet now. Okay. So, let's talk about this. What's the problem with the internet? Can anybody name some problems with the internet? What are the problems? Somebody throw something at me.
Slow connection.
Slow connection. Okay, let's talk about more. That's very true. Let's talk about more of the technical side of it from a communication.
Too much change.
Too much change.
People can't keep up.
People can't keep up. Yeah, and how do you know if something's credible? My goodness, you can go online and somebody could have spent a few $1,000s on a website. It looks great. That's credible, right? Come on, right? But then some of the biggest, most established companies still have crappy websites, right? And you're like, okay, this doesn't make sense here. Let me be clear with you. The internet is just a way to communicate, right? We know this. What is web video doing for us? What is video doing for us that we could never do before? It's allowing us to be human again, right? It's allowing you to go, I like that guy. He seems normal to me. I'm going to call him, right? Or, ooh, that guy's kind of a creep. I'm not going to call him, right? Or this seems legitimate. This doesn't. Doesn't video give you an insight a little bit into the credibility of something? How many people in here do have video online right now in any factor or form? Fabulous. I'm speaking to a great mix of people here. Today, for those of you that do have web video, we're going to categorize that and figure out how you can make it more effective. For those of you that are not, I'm going to show you how getting online and using video is the smartest thing you can do for your business, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay. I already said this. You cannot resist this. Let me say it again. You cannot resist this. You cannot hold back, because it's either you are playing the game or you are losing the game, but you're in the game. Everybody in this room is in the game, okay? Now, I want to go through some interesting things. Facebook tops Google in weekly web traffic now. Social media is the #1 activity on the internet. Not research, not buying, like on Amazon, and although that is very big. Facebook. 1 in 8 married couples in the U.S. met on social media. What? If I'd have said that 5 years ago, you guys would have laughed. But what is it about today? Communication, right? Is anybody in here met a good friend or reconnected with somebody using the internet? And haven't you, what was the feeling that you got when you were like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to you in forever? What was the feeling you got?
Damn, they found me.
For some of us, it was a bad thing. But for some of us, it's very exciting, right? The internet provided that connection. I found people on Facebook that years ago, I'd be like, man, I don't know if I'll ever see you again. And now I get to know what they're having for breakfast today, for some people. Okay, radio took 38 years to reach 50 million people. 38 years, okay? I want to share with you an interesting statistic. Facebook, in less than 1 year, reached 200 million people. 38 years or 1 year with 4 times the result. This works, okay? How can you make Facebook more effective? Starts with a V. Video. Okay, I want to show you something. If Facebook were a country, and I took this as a screenshot off of YouTube, it would be the 3rd largest country, right next to China and India. I mean, that's pretty incredible. Okay, I want to read you a couple stats. If you can't read this, I'm going to read them out loud. Google has shifted the goalposts and found that video ranks higher, and websites with video are 53 times, not 53%, 53 times more likely to appear on the front page of Google. Who'd like to appear on the front page of Google in your category? Heck yeah. This is the way. Okay, when you upload a video to YouTube, you are 100% certain that you will be indexed on Google's search engine. It's going to happen unless you set it to private. Okay? YouTube gets an estimated 3 billion views per day. And 48 hours of video is uploaded every minute to the site. Okay? This is incredible. It's never been like this before. And it doesn't stop with YouTube. Facebook last week announced that their intention to introduce the timeline on pages, this was taken from an article that was written a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago. It brings benefits if you have video. So Facebook is now tailoring the Facebook layout to what? Say it with me. Video. Okay? From March 30th, or before if you make the switch earlier, and it talks about you can set the videos to full width, allowing you to showcase your videos to your audience much more easily. Who would like to see an increase in the ability for their Facebook page to bring them more business? No? You guys don't want that? So let's get into some of the do's and don'ts. First of all, her name is, I can't remember, her name's Karen Alloy. This is a video called How to Flirt, and I'm using this as an example because this gal makes a full-time 6-figure income making a couple videos a week. If you see in this video here, 963,000 views. Okay? And she gets the bulk of her views very quickly. Now, I'm not saying that you should make videos on how to flirt, but what I am saying is she's created an audience that comes back and watches her stuff. I was on Twitter a couple months ago and I was like, where are you? She sounded like she was maybe in the Twin Cities for some reason, like on vacation. And I sent her a direct message, and I was like, where are you? And she's like, Minnetonka. And I was like, whoa, you're a YouTube sensation, international YouTube sensation living in Minnetonka. Here's what happens before her videos play. A commercial airs, and guess what? She gets a check. Who'd like to get a check from a commercial playing in front of their video? So I'm going to tell you something that is going to maybe upset some of you and maybe make you happy, some of you. Content is king. In today's world, the way we distribute information is very different. How many of you resist paying to watch, watch or get information online as much as you can? You don't want to pay. I don't want to get out my credit card. It's not even about the money, is it? It's about I don't want to get out my wallet and get my card out and punch it in, right? The cost of the transaction mentally is the hardest part. So why do we think content should be free? Well, because there's abundance of it. So let me tell you this. If you think for 1 minute that you're going to resist giving away free information, it's not going to work. In web video, we have to give free information away. I guarantee you, if I sat down one-on-one with every single one of you, there's a wealth of knowledge in this room. I'm sure each and every one of you have advanced knowledge in what you do. Would you nod for me? Yeah, you have advanced knowledge in what you do, probably, unless you're new in it. Share that knowledge with other people, okay? What are we going to use video to do? We're going to use it to share that knowledge with people. Right? Now I'm going to show you how we can really make that better. Everybody comes to me and they say, oh my gosh, but if I'm going to make video, I have to buy a camera, I have to buy stuff, I don't know what to buy. Let me tell you something. It's more important that you have something than you sit around and complain about what to buy. Find a camera. Go to Best Buy, go on Amazon, you will find a camera, make sure it's HD and it's got, you're going to spend about $1,000 on a camera if you want a nice camera. Or if you want a little flip camera, get a flip camera. But what is it about? It's not about the camera, it's about the content. If you're giving good information, do you think they really care if you're pixelated on your face for a second or two? One thing I will tell you though, and this is something to write down if you're taking notes, make sure that the audio is good so people can hear it. Because we'll watch something if we can hear what's going on, right? If the picture is garbly, but what if you can see what's going on, but you can't hear what's going on? Right? That's what the radio is. So make sure that you can hear what's going on. I recommend everybody in here gets a little camera. Who in here at least has some sort of camera that records video to any caliber? Most of us do. Okay, we live in that age. Most of our cell phones do it. You already own one. Okay. So let's talk about when to hire a professional. When to do things yourself. This is really big, okay? Let's talk about this. There are two, in my opinion, and I'm just another person with an opinion. In my opinion, there are two kinds of video when it comes to business, okay? Can somebody guess what the first one is? Professional video. You hire a media company that comes out, or you come to them and they produce something that's wrapped and packaged and beautiful, right? Does that cost money? Yeah. Yes, it costs money. It doesn't cost as much as you probably think, but it does cost money. Then you have the second kind of videos that are do-it-yourself videos. So let's talk about this. When I land on your website, let's take a guess. If you were to put a video on your homepage and I'm typing in and I land on your website, what kind of video makes the most sense if you're landing on that page? Professional, okay? We want video to be extremely professional if that's the first thing they're seeing. Does that make sense? If you want it to be your hobby and you want to learn about it and stuff, we can talk about all that stuff at some point, but to do it yourself, that's much more of your, hey, somebody tell me their profession. I just want one profession. Sir, what do you do?
Me?
Me?
Yeah.
Website, company, web strategies.
Web strategies? Okay. Here's a good one for you. What if you had a web strategies tip of the day? Hey, when you're working on, today's tip of the day is, when you're working on your Google analytics, or when you're working on this, make sure you do this, this, and this. In fact, I recommend that you take these 3 easy steps. Take 2 minutes to explain it to them, give them that free content, and every day you post that on your YouTube channel. What happens? You start to develop a following. You start posting that on your Facebook, your YouTube. Your regular base starts doing what? Coming back for more, right? And then the new people like me who didn't know what you do, and I land on your website and I'm like, oh, what's this all about? I'm going to feel comfortable, right? Because it's a professional video that you have there. Does that make sense? We have 2 kinds of video. You have the video for your followers who are like, yeah, I know you, I don't care what it looks like. And then you have the video that's like polished and professional, okay? We want to make sure that you have both though. If you want a landing page on your website to be killer, you need to have a great home page, professionally produced video. There are a few great companies in the Twin Cities that do this, us being one of them. Do it. It will save you so many headaches by having a pro do something for you. And don't go trying to spend $199 online to some company in LA. Who knows if you'll ever see the money. I mean, it's... So let's talk about the problem with social media. Anybody have any idea what the big problem with social media is? I'm sure negative. You are the problem with social media. I am the problem with social media. And what I'm saying with that is that social media just shows what's already there. Does that make sense? And if you're not playing the game, somebody else is. The internet has changed the playing field. You can gain clients anywhere in the world using the internet. Used to be you had to play in your backyard and you could only compete with these people. And if you lived in a town where they didn't compete with you, you could really rock it, right? So social media is all about how we treat it. Now this is not a social media seminar. There are plenty of pros in town that do that, but seriously, consider video when you do your social media. Does that make sense? Take that camera out. I'm telling you what, have fun with it. Talk to your base. Okay, we are human. This is communication. Think about it. What does everything come down to when you want to do business with somebody? Let's bring it down to one word. If you could bring it down to one word, I think it's trust. Don't you think it's trust? I pulled up this book. This is, by the way, suggested reading if you want to write this down. There's a local author and speaker. His name's Dave Horsager. Horsager. He wrote this book called The Trust Edge. It's incredible. But think about it. What does video do? It creates as much trust as possible without meeting them in person, right? Kind of a quiet group today, aren't we? Did we have a big lunch? Yeah. Okay. All right, on to some of the fun stuff. I want to read this to you. This is from one of our clients. We found that video is the best way to help promote, understand the buzz, character, and even size of the events we put on. This is a race organization. They put on that big Get Lucky race and a bunch of other races, running races. By seeing those images on video on our website, at expos, and even on the Jumbotron at our races, it prompts more people to sign up for our races when they know they'll be getting an experience like that. Does that make sense? Now, you don't have to put on big events and races to have to use video. This is about you and your personality, right? You're as unique as it gets. That's what Amy said. Now, I'm going to show you a video, and we won't play the whole thing, but I'm going to show you part of a video. This is a video, this is just an example of what they use to promote their races. This is called the Go Commando race. It's a really fun adventure race with fire and mud. And I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but I'm going to show you part of it.
It's go time!
Go Commando! Go Commando is the real deal, baby.
Go, 2011, baby. I've seen a lot of people that are really muddy.
I love it! It's awesome! Buddy!
you're gonna find it like this.
Now, if you were looking for a fun race to do and you saw that on their website versus a website that didn't have something like that, and it was just, a couple pictures and something basic, which one would you sign up for? Bottom line is, when we started working with them, they were a small little race group, and this was 2 years ago. They put on little races, they weren't that big, they did a good job. And we started doing these videos and making them look big and making the videos look really cool. What happened? Registration started pouring in, and they had the biggest race they've ever had, ever, back on St. Patrick's Day for their Get Lucky. They had 12,000 people. Why? That quote I gave you from Amy, she's their communications director who we work with. Video. Video sells. I don't care if you're selling insurance. I don't care if you're selling web services. I don't care if you're selling cars. It does not matter what you are doing. It's how you're doing it. And if we use video consistently on a day-to-day basis, even amateur video, where you're sharing your knowledge with people, and then you have a well-polished presence on the front of your doors, right? Because you want the front of your doors to look nice. What's going to happen to your business? People are going to catch on. They're going to call you instead of going, click back. Okay, what's their competitor do? Oh, I like this. Wow, look at that video. Killer. You just missed a call and you didn't even know it. Isn't that the worst part about losing business, is half the time you didn't even know you lost it? You guys are quiet. Okay, got it. I started Forever TV, and I'm going to explain that real quick. This is a quick case on the local wedding market. Anybody heard of, those big shows at the convention center, the big wedding shows, right? We all have heard it, right? The owner of that big show is one of my best friends. His name's Josh Franz. He's an incredible guy, more passionate about weddings than anybody, okay? And he had these two guys working for him called the Wedding Guys. I don't know if you know that brand, but the Wedding Guys. And they had a disagreement about 2 years ago, left, came back after their non-compete, and started a competing business in town called Unveiled. Now, Unveiled, this is their website. Looks okay, right? It's like, oh yeah, that looks neat, I'll click through it, right? If you're a bride, it looks pretty cool. But they don't have any video on their website. And so their events only draw so many people. But then you look at the wedding fair, and they have video. And when he's running his advertisements and driving people in, brides watch this. You guys have heard that, haven't you?
Hey everybody, I'm Amanda Day with Forever TV, and we're here at the Twin City Bridal Association's wedding fair. There's thousands of people waiting to get in. The entrance is gorgeous. It's filled with amazing vendors. We have a fashion show. Great ideas to make your wedding truly unique. So come on in, let's take a look, and I will show you around.
So we partnered with them and we produced this for them, okay? And in our partnership, we have a trade agreement that works really well.
Excited about as you go to the fair? What are you really looking for?
But if you're a bride and you land on the website, it's a decent website. In fact, in my personal opinion, this one's a little more visual, right? It looks a little nicer. But at the end of the day, who brings in more brides to that fair? Twin City Bridal. Why? They both do about the same kind of marketing every time there's a show. It's because when the bride lands on their website to buy her tickets and watches that video, she goes, of course I'm going to this. There's not even a question. How nice would it be if you knew that when people landed on your website and saw something, whether it's good content where you're sitting in front of your flip cam and it looks like crap, but you're given great information, hopefully that's more in the back of the website, but they land on your website and they get information. How great would that be to know that you just took that business from your competition because they didn't have that, right? We're always trying to stay ahead of the curve, right? Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to skip past that. This is forevertv.com. We basically built an online resource for brides. And when brides land on the site, she can look for things she wants. When you're shopping for something, you want to make up your own mind, right? You don't need somebody to sell you. You want to gather the facts, right? Am I right? Yeah? What we did is we said, forget these silly advertisements. Let's go online and create a commercial for every venue in town. And the bride can go on there and watch that video and decide who she wants to call. She's not going to like every one of them. So she can get to know the catering director before she even calls them, so she feels comfortable. And the catering director gets what? They get a phone call from a bride who already likes them. This is an example.
Anna O'Mara, and I'm happy to introduce you to Pinstripes. Centrally located, Pinstripes is a unique and fun entertainment venue featuring a full restaurant, bistro, gorgeous event space, bowling, bocce, a little bit for everyone. And we've hosted it all. We've hosted bridal showers, the bachelorette bowl.
Does that make sense?
Great rehearsal.
Makes you want to go hang out there, doesn't it? It looks kind of cool. Okay, so I want to tell you about my dad. My dad, Roger, was born in 1937. That would make him 74. My dad resisted the Facebook thing forever. He's in yacht sales. How big of a market do you think there is for people who want to spend between $250,000 and $1 million on a boat that has sails on it and not a motor? How tough do you think it would be to build that business in an economy like this right now, in a small market like the Twin Cities, and not on a coast or something? I said, Dad, we got to wise up, Dad. All these people that are online that are sailing freaks are what? They're chatting about it, doing all this stuff. I said, Dad, we got to start running Facebook ads to a specific tight demographic of people who make this much money, who are this age, who live in these areas, who are interested in sailing. Well, guess what? Today, you can drive traffic to your website by just buying it from Facebook. There are so many people out there looking for those things. So I said, Dad, we're going to put a thing on your website, your boring website. We're going to put a video smack dab on your contact page, and then we're going to drive Facebook ads to it. And here's my dad.
My name is Roger Eide. I've been in the large sailboat business for over 30 years. You clicked on my Facebook ad, and here we are. Whether you're looking for a used boat or a custom-built sailing yacht, I'm your guy. I specialize in custom blue water sailing yachts. I have worked with Touching for 27 years building world-class sailboats. If you're looking for an expert to help you along the way, call me. I'm well connected in the sailboat industry and a veteran sailor myself. I will personally answer your call. My cell number is 952-941-0226. I look forward to hearing from you soon.
So when somebody lands on his site, what are they going to think? Well, the video starts playing automatically. There's nothing to push, it just starts playing. And what does it do for him? They go, oh my gosh, I like this guy. He seems authentic. He seems real. I mean, if I was ever going to buy a sailboat, let's call him. He gave me his cell phone number. And guess what has happened? In an economy that he says is really bad for sailboats right now, he is now getting people to his website, watching his video, and contacting him, people he never knew existed. And they never knew he existed, and now his business is going to benefit as a result. We started running it at the beginning of April. He's already seeing results with this. Wouldn't you like to see an extra? I mean, I said to him, and this is maybe a kind of a out in the dark, but I said, Dad, if you spent $500 a month on Facebook ads, he's like, oh my gosh, $500 a month. And I said, hold on a minute. That equates to about 500 people a month, because it's about $1 a click or so for what he's doing. If you had 500 people that make between this and this money, and they are interested in sailing, and they click on a thing that says buy a sailboat, of 500 of those, how many do you think would be serious buyers? Maybe 1%? Say it's 5 buyers. Dad, how many sailboats would you have to sell to afford $500 a month in Facebook ads at $250,000 a boat? I think this makes sense. Now, everybody's business model is different, right? But what I'm saying is you can bring people anywhere. If you look at Albertville Mall. It's, in my opinion, in the middle of nowhere. But they tell everybody where it is. If you build a mall and you don't tell people where it is, you think people are going to shop there? No. You can build the best website, you can have the best video, but unless you're bringing people there, and that's a whole different discussion, but unless you drive traffic there, it doesn't work, right? So, but when they land there, because you've spent those precious dollars getting them to your site, what do we want to do? We want to see results. Okay, suggested reading material. If, I'm going to just make this, I'm going to make this really, simple. There are a few books that have really rocked my world, okay? Changed the way I look at this stuff because I don't know all of it. I don't. Some of these books have really been amazing. And it's a very short list. So write them down. Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk. This, I'm telling you what, and if you like audiobooks, this is a killer audiobook. Either way, he's going to show you how to cash in on your passion, the thing you do the best. He'll take what you... I'll just put it simply. This invented Forever TV. This book gave me the fuel to understand how to build Forever TV, which is now a huge sensation in the wedding industry here. Okay? Here's another one. These are really untraditional books. Rework by Jason Fried and Jason Hansen. I think that's right. Is that Jason? No, David Hansen. I typed it wrong. I'm sorry. If you look up Rework, you'll find it. These are two tech geniuses that started a company called 37 Signals. You ever heard of it? It's a tech company. They make CRM software and all sorts of cool stuff. This is incredible. Guerrilla Marketing, it's a classic. If you have not read Guerrilla Marketing, get ready because it's like an instruction manual textbook, but it's so good. And before I go to the last one, and I actually brought a physical copy of this one to show you guys, I want to tell you something. Since 2003, my business partner Mike and I had struggled a lot in building a business. Anybody feel frustrated with being maybe self-employed and you're like, I feel like I'm doing everything and I just want to have a real business here? That was us for a long time. That was us for a long time. And somebody recommended that I read this book. It's called Traction by Gino Wickman. You will not find it in an audiobook. I've looked. I mainly listen to books. But it's called Traction. This book took what we were doing about... We're all entrepreneurs here, so I can share some basic numbers. We were doing about 125 to 150,000 in gross for a long time. And it was really frustrating because we were like, oh, new breakthrough, but not more money. Does anybody ever feel like that? No, I guess I'm the only one. And I read this book, and we took a week off, and we studied it, and we followed its instructions, because somebody said, you got to take some time off to read this book. We took a week off, went to the cabin, we followed everything that this book told us to do, and we quadrupled our company revenue in 6 months. We read this book in July, and we were on course to, in December, close out at about the same amount. Another crappy year, right? And guess what happened? We read this book, we implemented what it did, we hired the right people, we did the right things, and guess what happened? We quadrupled our business in a 6-month window. This year we're on schedule to do a lot more. And I'm really, really, really excited about that. Read this book. I'm not kidding you. Don't waste any more time. Read this book, okay? I'll take some questions if you guys have them. I do have some references if you want to see them. But yes, sir.
What's it cost?
The book?
No, video. To make a video. What's it cost to make a video?
Okay, so that's like saying how much does a car cost?
I agree.
So to make a BMW, I like your style. 530. Okay. So to make a professional video when you land on your website, to really do it right, I always tell people between $1,000 and $5,000, depending on the visuals and all that stuff. $5,000 is more rare. Usually it falls about $2,000. There's a lot that goes into making a video people don't realize. Now, I will tell you, can I say anything? Am I allowed to say anything? We've partnered with Connect to Buy to help people who are Connect to Buy members create a video like this. And it's a fraction of that cost. Talk to Paul. We can help you get a professional video for a fraction of that cost. Oh, you're rolling it out. Okay, I'm going to get done here. Any other questions?
Well, not here.
Oh, okay, not here.
What would it have cost your dad to have that video made if he didn't pay for it?
So the one that you just saw that I made for my dad, because I owed my dad a lot. My dad, when we first got started, my dad owned an airplane hangar at Flying Cloud Airport in Eden Prairie. And he lent Mike and I office space for us and our employees and our equipment for like 4 years for nothing. I owed my dad, and I was like, Dad, it's on me this time, okay? So something like that, though, my guess is, it was a quick in-studio thing with an edit, probably $1,200, $1,500. There was a green screen behind him. So it looked like a yacht, a marina, but it was a green screen. That was in studio. He was reading a prompter. He did a good job, didn't he? I mean, I was like, yeah, Dad. So, anybody else? By the way, we're going to be able to, that right there, what you saw with my dad, that's a comparable video for what we'll be making for the Connect to Buy relationships, and it's a fraction of that. And when I say fraction, I actually mean a fraction. Does anybody have any more questions?
What do you do with the people that have a fear of using Facebook? I mean, you're really about all the good parts, but there's some people that really have a concern about putting their name out there, getting it all publicized, being able to be tracked right back down to the location
where
you've been visiting for the last, let's say, 3 hours.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a lot of people have that same concern. I don't want people knowing about my personal information. You only have to render the information you want to put out there. So you can control that. But in my personal opinion, there's how many? 500 million people doing this? I'm not putting my social, and I don't put my cell phone number on there. There's a lot. I mean, I control that. At this point, I've realized that the amount of damage they could do is not greater than the amount of benefit I get from using it. Go ahead.
Me? What's the range of, say, minutes that typically you recommend for a video on a website? How many minutes roughly?
Sure. So when we have somebody land on our website and you want a polished video, we don't want it to be long, right? You don't want to go on and on and on. You just want to be like, hey, we rock, and you know it. You know what I mean? Sorry, I didn't mean it like that, but you know what I'm saying. Hey, we're really great. We should do business. And so I recommend that landing page should be between 30 seconds and 1.5 minutes. I mean, we don't want to go long. Now, when it comes to extended content where you're like, okay, here are my 5 tips on how to train your dog to sit. 2, 3, 4 minutes. I mean, how long will you watch a YouTube video?
For videos that are posted on landing pages, do you recommend that they be set to autoplay, or does it make a difference in allowing the visitor to press and play? In my opinion, once they land on my real estate, I want full control. And if they land here, I want to be able to say what I want to say as quick as I can before I lose them. Because you know how it is. You land on a page, you're like, boring, goodbye. We all do it. So I would say autoplay always. And you know what? It's good to have your videos on YouTube, but when you land on somebody's website, I don't want the YouTube logo on the landing of my website. To me, that looks really unprofessional. It looks amateur. And if you're a business that can accomplish great things for them, you don't want to look amateur. So we use a system that HBO and Discovery Channel, they use, that's all our brand, so nobody knows it's YouTube or whatever, and it's a better product. Yes, sir.
About how long does the process take from start to finish to make the video?
Well, filming a video usually is about a 30-minute time slot. Leading up to that, what we do is you make your script is what you want said and then what you want shown. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, I sell, like in my dad's case, he sells sailboats, but it's been so long since he had some great photos. So he said, instead, let's just take a screenshot of the website of the company that makes those boats. And then as we get some more pictures, we'll put them in there. But say you've got these beautiful executive suites and you've got some great pictures, we can overlay those over the top of them to show off, wow, oh my gosh, look at that spacious conference room. You know, and when you're saying we have spacious conference rooms, you show the picture of it. You know what I mean? It adds a dimension that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. The pre-planning, probably 4 or 5 emails back and forth to tweak things, and then it's studio time for a half hour.
You can get done in a month, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And working with Paul and us, and very quick. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
And getting back to that autoplay, I guess I find it rather annoying sometimes when you go to a website and all of a sudden this video starts playing.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that? I understand your point of view is that it's your real estate, you'd rather get their attention and say your message than.
Yeah. It's a difference in opinion. I think if you land on a website that's got a lot going on and there's a lot of information to absorb, you don't want something annoying bothering you. That's why if you saw the one for my dad, there's not a whole lot going on. So when you land on it and autoplays, you're not trying to look for other things. It's like, here's the presentation, here's what I want you to hear. I mean, some people have gone as far as to make the player even larger and put no content, and it's like click through, you know, once they watch it, it's like, you see what I'm saying? It really is a difference in opinion. Some people, I'm sure, hate it. In my opinion, I want you to see this video that I spent a lot of time and money on.
But when you're going to different websites, do you find that very informational that they automatically start up? Or
it depends. If I
soon have it there knowing that you can start it and look at it?
Because I can always pause it. I mean, if I go to a company, it depends on the business. If it's an amateur thing and there's some video down here making noise and I'm like, what is this? But if it's like front and center, this is what we want you to see when you come to our website, that doesn't bother me as much. Some people, I'm sure it does. It really is a difference in opinion. Anybody else?
Those books that you mentioned, you said that the guerrilla marketing book was not available in audiobook. Were the others?
Guerrilla marketing is an audiobook. The one you won't be able to get in audio is Traction. Traction.
Okay, yeah. You named 4 books. So the first 3?
Crush It is, Rework is, Guerrilla is, Traction's not.
Okay, and the first one that you mentioned was the Edge or something? That wasn't...
Oh, the Trust Edge, yes. Yeah. This is Dave Horsager, the Trust Edge. He's local. And this is not an audiobook.
So out of the 5 books, 3 of them are available.
Yep. And if you guys...
I do in my car when I go back and forth to work.
Yeah, if you want a great option to listen to audiobooks, I don't know if anybody else does, audible.com. It's like $8 a month for the first 3 months and $15 a month after that. They give you a credit every month, and a credit's good for a book. So I subscribe to it to force myself to read at least 1 new book a month or listen to 1 new book a month.
I got to get rid of fiction and start on self-improvement.
Fiction doesn't do it for me. You got it. Yeah, it's about growing. Anybody else? Yeah.
How do you feel, or do you guys do video walk-ons to websites
versus a player?
Versus the player, a frame that.
Where there's like a person that walks up. That kind of freaks me out. Personally, I mean, we have the capability to do it, but I'd never taken action on something like that because I don't want to be landing somewhere and have like a person walk onto my screen and talk at me. It just kind of scares me a little bit. And they work.
With so much traffic being on mobile phones and iPads now, how do you frame that versus traditional browser experience?
I do it all with the video distribution system. So the company that implements my players for me on our site, that's through a company that we use that automatically detects what you're browsing in, detects your bandwidth, and then displays the proper thing for you on your iPad or whatever you're on.
So is there an ongoing hosting fee to use?
There is, yep. We pay an ongoing hosting fee for that. they have free versions and all sorts of that. I'll tell you the name of it if you'd like to look it up. They have programs starting at $100 a month, which is, in my opinion, very inexpensive. And it's called Bright Cove, okay? It's the distribution system that all the big boys use. Any other questions?
Charles, what's the age range that you're finding, as far as people using online video? Is there a sort of category that you would lump viewers into?
It depends. It's getting broader and broader every single day. I will say that 50% of the population is under 30. We need to appeal to them. They are the people spending money. So, any other questions? Technical stuff? All right, I'll hang around. We're also going to make this available online so you can watch it. If you'd like to refer it to somebody or watch it yourself again. And if you have technical questions or specifics, come up and let me give you my cell phone number. I'm going to give everybody I don't do this in a smaller group. It's okay. My cell phone number is 612-387-0743. And my email is charles@eidecom, EIDECOM, just one M, .com. Feel free to, let me know you were at the Connect to Buy thing. We have a very close working relationship with Paul.
And they can find you on Connect to Buy as well.
And you can find us on Connect to Buy, which is a great place to find us. And our videos on Connect to Buy.
Yes, it is.
So, all right, thank you so much. Are you going to bring Paul back up?